Hi there and welcome to another episode of the Business Automation Show. My name is Uwe. I'm the founder of InvoiceBerry, an online invoicing tool for small business owners and freelancers. Today we're looking at a case study how a consulting business owner can have a landing page, accept a new client, then the client receives the first invoice that they can pay, and then after half of the consulting period, they will receive a second invoice that already will be automatically generated in InvoiceBerry, and the consultant just has to send it off whenever the halfway point of the consultation is finished. For that, we're using InvoiceBerry for the invoicing, Zapier to automate it all, and MailerLite for the landing page, and maybe for some email automation. So let me get right into it. All right, so this is my MailerLite account, and here under sites, I click on that, and I will then decide to create a new landing page. I also could create a new website, but let's just create a landing page in this example, and we call it My Consulting Gig. So landing page, save and continue. Now I've already created a group of subscribers called consulting clients. If you haven't done so, you can just click on add new group and create this consulting clients group. Click on continue. And now we can either start from scratch or we can use one of their templates. Let me just start from scratch here. I click on create. All right, perfect. So this is the default template, and you can delete whatever you want to delete here. Obviously, you can adjust it. So here it could be something about book my consulting services. And here we might have some sales copy for our landing page. Remember, this is just one page that we would share maybe via Facebook or LinkedIn or in our emails with our potential clients, and they can just go on that page, get some final information, and then book our services. In this example, let's say we're a consultant. It could be a real estate consultant, a branding consultant, whatever you do in your consulting business, and you have some sort of package. Let's say you charge $2,000 for your consultation, and this is a sort of program, done with you program, where you charge $1,000 upfront and $1,000 halfway through the program. So let's say this is an 8-week program in our example. So again, here you would write more information about what you're offering, and let's say at the bottom of the page, in this case this is a subscribe link, but we will change that. So we will hack that into book my consulting services, and here would be some sort of information. Let's say 8-week program, 1 call per week, $1,000 upfront payment, $1,000 after 4 weeks. This is a pretty standard sort of thing where you offer your customers to pay a bit upfront, and then once they saw the value in your services, that they have to pay the remaining fee. So here, instead of subscribe, we would call that, let's click here. So you see I clicked here, and then you just click on form, and this button you would say book my services. And then here we have the email. We want to add more fields. So we click on add more fields. We definitely want the name and the last name. So probably we want to also change this. You click here on edit, and you call this the first name. It's required. Save changes. Then let's go to the last name field. You click on it. It's required. Obviously, the email will be always required. And you could ask for more information. Just click on add field, and you can ask for more information. So one more thing you can do, Obviously here you add more information, but also here under form settings, you can add a privacy policy and just click on save. And when you select it here as a privacy statement, you can write some text, let's say by clicking the payment button, you agree to our terms and conditions, right? And you just save this, and this would be, let's say, our form. So now we have the form. We should click on save and publish, and let's have a quick look. All right, perfect. So our page has been published. We see here the marketing copy. Here would be some more marketing copy. And finally, here is where you can book our services. All right. So now we've got that part, the front end of the whole operation set up. Now we also have to set up the back office, the invoice creation process. So how do we get the information from MailerLite to InvoiceBerry? For that, we have to go into our Zapier account. And here we first search for MailerLite. In this example, we use the new MailerLite version. You might have to use the classic one if you've got an old account. Let's click on that and let's search for InvoiceBerry. All right. So as a trigger, what we want to use is that we added a subscriber to a group. And as the action, we want to create a new invoice. Let's click on try it. All right, we're already in the advanced Zapier editor, so that's great. Let's first click on the trigger and connect our MailerLite account. Okay, we just have to select our account here and we have to authorize it. Perfect, so that's it. We've selected our account, we click on continue, and for the subscriber group, we want to select the consulting clients. Click on continue. Now we can test the trigger. Okay, we couldn't find any subscribers. So let's go back to the page and actually subscribe to our own services. Let me use my email address so we can also see later how this ends up in our Gmail inbox. Book my services. Okay, so again, this thank you page you can obviously optimize in your MailerLite landing page editor. You can write something else. You maybe can link to one of your blog posts or other content. Let's go back to Zapier and let's test it once again. Perfect. So we found the subscriber. There's the email address. Let's check for the name. We found that as well. And let's click on continue. Now we have to connect our InvoiceBerry account. Let's click on sign in. And in InvoiceBerry's case, we need an API key and an API password. To get that, let's go to InvoiceBerry, click on settings, then on main settings and on integrations. And here you have an API key and your password. Click on copy, pop it in here, go back to InvoiceBerry, click on copy, pop it in here, and let's click on yes, continue. Great, so we successfully connected to InvoiceBerry. There's my sample account. Let's click on continue. And now we have to set up the client and the invoice. To do so, we have to add a new client to InvoiceBerry. So let's select client name. And we probably want a combination of the first name and the last name. Then we can keep these things empty. Client email, we want to use the email address. And then we can put here the first name once again and the last name. It's technically not necessary because we already have that combination of first name and last name in the company name. And then let's go down. For the invoice, we need the currency. We said it's in US dollars. And we need the date of issue, which would be today, whenever the person filled out the form. So that's the subscribed at date. Here you can fill out this information. you don't have to. And this is the next one. What's the item description? It's my consulting services, 8 weeks program, payment for first 4 weeks, or the initial payment or whatever. The unit cost we set as 1,000. The quantity is 1. And then we can go further down and we can say we want to send this invoice automatically. Let's click on continue. Now you can double check the information and you can click on test action. All right, perfect. So Zapier tells us that this worked successfully. Let's go here in our InvoiceBerry account, click on invoices, and there you have it. James Deere just created an invoice today over $1,000. Let's click on it. And there you have it. That's your invoice with your company information, your company logo. It's $1,000 for consulting services. And here you have all the information. Let's click on back. And now let's check our Gmail account. So this would be our customer's Gmail account. And here you see that the customer received an email with the invoice. And there you have the invoice. If you connected InvoiceBerry to Stripe, PayPal, Coinbase, or any of our other payment solutions, you also have a pay button here in the invoice. So you can just click on that pay button and your customer can pay the invoice immediately online. All right, so there's one more step to do. Normally we sort of would stop here and just say publish Zap, but we actually want to add one more step, which is to create a second invoice that is due in 4 weeks time. So let's click on the plus, click on InvoiceBerry. So this time we also want to create an invoice. Click on continue. And now we have to select an account. We've already connected our InvoiceBerry account earlier, so we can just select this and we don't have to connect it once again. Okay, great. So for the second invoice, we just have to fill out the same information once again. The great thing with our Zapier integration is we can just tell it to create another customer with the same details, and InvoiceBerry will automatically recognize those information and it will attach the second invoice to the same customer as the first invoice. So we won't have two of the same customers, we just will have one customer called James Deere. All right, so let's also select the email address here, and based on the email and the customer's name, InvoiceBerry will just know that it's the same person and won't create the second client with all those details. James, and let's here select the last name. And then let's go all the way down. Once again, we have to select the currency. So now for the date of issue, you can once again select the subscribed at date, and then you say plus 4 weeks. So Zapier will take today plus 4 weeks and set that up as the invoice date. So let's go further down. As a description, we could say second payment for consulting services. The unit cost is another $1,000 and the quantity is 1. And we keep this information empty. And in this case, we actually don't want to automatically send the invoice because it might be in 4 weeks. Maybe our client has a holiday in between, or there's some sickness or something else happening, and maybe only in 5 or 6 weeks we are halfway through the program and we will send the invoice. So let's say here no and click on continue, and let's test this action too. All right, so the invoice has been inserted successfully. Let's have a look at InvoiceBerry. Perfect. So once again, we see a second invoice for James Deere. It's 4 weeks from now, $1,000, and it's in the draft state because we haven't sent it off yet. So now you can just, in 4 weeks time, go here and click on email invoice, and you can just send it out to the customer. And that's it. Now the customer received that second invoice and can pay it. Once again, it's in the inbox of the customer. They can view it, they can pay it, they can click here and view their invoice in their Gmail account. Okay, perfect. So what we've done, let's recap. We set up a landing page in MailerLite. We collect the email address of our new consulting client. We send those information to Zapier, and then Zapier creates 2 invoices with the help of InvoiceBerry. One invoice that is automatically sent to our consulting customer, so they can pay it by bank transfer, check, Stripe, however they want. And then 4 weeks later, you can just log into your InvoiceBerry account and send off the automatically created invoice, which was here in the draft state. Thanks a lot for listening. I hope this was useful. If you've got any other questions how to automate your business, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below and I'm happy to help you. Bye bye and happy invoicing.